Yeah. Yeah. There's a new model on the way. There's a new truck on the way. Excellent. So, your job is to guess what's coming, what's on the way. And the winner gets a cookie. You know, provided they buy a cookie. Now, if you're thinking Tamiya CC-01, you were almost right. You should have been right, and I'll tell you why. Here's the story. Okay, we're all in lockdown. We can't go anywhere. Non-essential businesses are shut down. I wanted a truck. I've just been paid from my last offshore job. I wanted a truck to have a build, to do build series videos and everything, just to keep myself occupied, keep you guys entertained during this time. But, you know, I can't go to 2 models. So I phoned Alan and said, look, I'm looking at buying a truck. I'm looking at buying a CC-01, actually. Can you order me one? And can you get it delivered to my house? Because I can't go into his store. He can't go into his store because he's not an essential business. And even if we were willing to break the law, neither of us are willing to risk each other. So that wasn't happening. The plan was, I said, can I phone you, pay over the phone, and you can get your supplier to send it straight to me? He was like, I'll try. Because I want to try and give him the business if possible, especially during this time. He phoned me back and said, look, the suppliers, I've argued with them, they're not doing it. They're saying that we can't just send a parcel to anybody. And he was arguing, well, it's not anybody. He's a good friend of mine. He's been a customer for years and he's trustworthy. You'll pay up front if necessary. And they're like, no, we can't do that. They can't do that. They said, oh, we'll send it to you, as in to Alan. But here's the thing, and Alan said this to me. If he gets a big bulk of stuff in, if he does an order from the hobby company, which happens to be the UK supplier of Tamiya, he then sells, you know, he gets a bulk order of a couple of dozen things or whatever, and then sells them, he can make a decent profit. If you order 1 unit and get it sent and then sold that 1 unit, you'll maybe make £20 profit, if that. And that's in the store when someone comes in to buy it. If he then has to get it back to his house and then courier it to mine, that profit's cut right down. He'll probably make £6 or £8 or something. And then the tax man comes along. It's just not worth it. He said, look man, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I did say to him, please order me one. I said, order me one. So I was putting in an order for a CC-01. So if you guessed CC-01, you were initially correct. He said, do what you want. Just try and get it anywhere you want. You know, there's nothing I can do for you. So, fair enough. At least I helped. At least I tried. At least he tried. So, fair enough. So I went, well, if I can't get it from 10 models, I will try and get it for the very cheapest price I possibly can. So I went to RC Mart, which is direct from China. And they don't have it in stock. They have the black one in stock, the matte black edition, which I don't want. I want the original one in stock because I prefer to paint my own shell and I prefer the wheels that came with the original one. So I don't want that one. They have a great price. It's like £93 or something it works out to be, but it's not in stock. So I want it in stock. I need it to come here so I can build it during this time. Alright, fine. So the cheapest I can get the CC-01 is £140. It's not bad, really. Okay, £140. So I was like, right, I'll definitely get that. So I decided to start adding things to my basket in RC Mart because the upgrades. Because the thing about the CC-01 is it's very flawed to standard and it needs upgrades. It's not like an RC car. You can go, oh, I can upgrade it on, you know, during my leisure. I mean, you can, but it has flaws that kind of need addressed. And I said to myself, I will only do the necessary, the completely, you know, what's the word? Well, necessary, I guess is the right word, but the mods that have to be done, the critical mods, that's the word, critical mods, and then nothing else. Surely it can't come to too much money. Okay. So, critical mods for the Tamiya CC-01. Well, where do you even begin? Right, it's a Tamiya, so rubber shielded bearing kit. First of all, probably from rcbearings.co.uk. You need a better pinion because the original pinion is really soft and wears out. So RW Racing steel pinion. And then the least critical but also still very useful mod, metal motor mount. I was going to go for an extra speed metal motor mount because it was only about a £5. The reason for that is the original one, the plastic one, can flex, especially if you put more torque through it, which is what I was planning on doing. Also, the metal one also acts as a heatsink because the motor's buried underneath in this car, so help with heat dissipation. To the front end. The steering is abysmal in the CC-01. It's completely full of slop and it binds up, so you need to sort it. A hot racing bell crank system sorts it. GPM Racing make one as well, but apparently it's not very good, so fine. Once you do that, you also need CVDs. I was going for extra speed on the CVDs because the ones I was looking at were out of stock, but also the extra speed ones look absolutely fine. The reason being, the standard dog bones drop out of it. Once you sort the steering, and you give it more steering lock by cutting off the little lugs that limit it, this is what you're allowed to do once you sort the bell crank system. We steer, dog bones drop out, so you need CVDs. So that's it, steel CVDs as well. Onto the back end suspension binds up all over the place. It's terrible because it has these sort of flat, almost like plastic planks, and they're supposed to twist. Nah, doesn't work. So you need 4-link kit. John Fack make them, a bit expensive. GPM make them, they're alright. But I was going to go for the hot racing 4-link kit, that's fine. It's quite a good balance between cost and quality. Tyres, standard ones are useless, so you need to replace them, get better tyres on it. So now you've got a car that the suspension at the front and steering at the front works, suspension at the back works, and you've got decent grip. Oh, but it still gets hung up everywhere, so you need a front skid plate and the bottom skid plate. So your CC-01 now has working front suspension, working back suspension, working steering. It doesn't get hung up, but you need the electronics. Okay, well, it was designed in the early 90s, well before the sort of crawler craze. So if you put the standard 27-turn motor in it, which is included, it goes around like a touring car. That's no good, you need to slow it down. 55-turn motor, you've got to add that to the cart. Speed controller, it comes with it, plus I have a Holly wing spare, so that's fine. Radio gear, I had a radio gear set, but I gave it to Matthew because he needed one. Matthew, honestly. And then we're done. But we're not, because we still need to do the body shell. So paints, and I was planning on doing quite a good paint job, but hopefully a good paint job. An effort at a good paint job, which meant you needed to get liquid mask. I needed to get 3 different paint kinds, I think. So you've got everything you need. The CC-01's ready to be built. But how much did that cost? Almost £400, including delivery. Yeah, £400, and those are just the critical modifications you need to do to make it run right. Now, I love Tamiya, and I like the CC-01. But let's not pretend for a moment the CC-01 is worth £400 or nearly £400. It is not a real premium grade RC, not really. It's a small plastic Tamiya, and it's cost you £400 to get it running right. Yeah, not going to pay that sort of money for one of those, as much as I want one. I'll maybe get one in the future, but right now, I couldn't justify that. Who could justify £400 for something like that right now? A small, plastic, semi-crawler scale truck thing. Smaller scale than the likes of an Axial or a Vitera. That's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Not right now. Maybe one day, I still plan on one day getting a CC-01. I do, but wow. Not right now. Definitely not right now. So, something else is on the way. Something completely different. And your job is to guess what it is. And I'll give you one really rubbish clue. Here we go. Like the CT-01, I've really always wanted one of these. Almost. That's your clue. I really wanted one of these things. The one thing that I've ordered, I've always wanted. Almost. Kind of. This is kind of something I've really always wanted. What a clue. So, there you are. Decent, eh? I miss fishing.